Welcome to YouTube channel Bits of Food Science. Today, let us learn about one of the most fascinating secrets of food chemistry, the Maillard reaction. Have you ever wondered why bread turns golden when toasted, why French fries smell so tempting, or why coffee has that rich roasted aroma? The Maillard reaction is the tasty science behind all of this. It's the meeting of sugars and proteins under heat, creating new flavors, aromas, and that beautiful brown color we all love. From crispy bread crusts to seared steaks and roasted peanuts, this reaction makes food look mouth-watering and taste irresistible. In this video, we learn about what the Maillard reaction is, the stages it goes through, factors that influence it, and how it's different from caramelization. So, let's dive into this delicious science, right here on Bits of Food Science. Let us first look at the definition. The Maillard reaction is a non-enzymatic, non-oxidative browning reaction that takes place between the amino group of amino acids, peptides, or proteins and the carbonyl group of a reducing sugar, usually at high temperatures, and it happens independently of oxygen. Now, in simple words, this reaction is responsible for the browning and flavor development in many cooked foods. It typically occurs at elevated temperatures and contributes to the sensory qualities we enjoy in baked, grilled, and roasted products. The Maillard reaction can be understood in three main stages: the initial stage, the intermediate stage, and the late stage. Let's start with the initial stage. What happens first? A reducing sugar such as glucose, lactose, or fructose provides a reactive carbonyl group. This group is attacked by the amino group of an amino acid, peptide, or protein, forming an unstable compound called a Schiff base, or aldimine. This Schiff base then rearranges into a more stable ketoamine. If the sugar is an aldose, it becomes an almidori product, and if it is a ketose, it forms a Haynes product. Next comes the intermediate stage. The almidori and Haynes products are unstable, especially when exposed to heat and low moisture. Now they break down into alpha-dicarbonyl compounds through dehydration and fragmentation. These dicarbonyls give rise to important flavor and aroma compounds, including furan derivatives, which provide sweet or caramel-like notes, hydroxymethylfuril or HMF, and reductones, which act as flavor enhancers and color precursors. Finally, in the late stage, the alpha-dicarbonyl compounds undergo further reactions, such as the Strecker degradation, where they interact with amino groups to produce aldehydes, which are key aroma compounds, along with carbon dioxide. At the same time, multiple condensation and polymerization reactions take place, leading to the formation of melanoidins. These are large, brown-colored polymers that are chemically complex and can even bind metal ions, giving foods their characteristic brown color and deep flavors. Now, what factors influence the Maillard reaction? First, temperature. The higher the temperature, the faster the reaction goes. That's why foods brown more quickly when roasted or baked at high heat. Next, pH. Did you know that browning happens faster in an alkaline environment? A pH above 7 speeds it up, while an acidic pH slows it down. Then we have water activity, or A. The reaction works best at intermediate levels, around 0.6 to 0.7. If there's too much water, or too little, the reaction slows down. Type of sugar also matters. Reducing sugars like glucose, lactose, and fructose are very reactive, while sucrose is much slower. What about amino acids? Well, the type of amino acid makes a difference too. For example, lysine reacts especially fast because it has a free epsilon amino group. The concentration of reactants is another factor. Simply put, the more sugar and amino acids you have, the faster the reaction will proceed. Even oxygen availability plays a role. Oxygen can affect how the flavors and colors develop. And finally, metal ions such as copper and iron can act like catalysts, speeding up the process. The Maillard reaction doesn't just change food chemically, it also transforms how we experience it. First, it's key for flavor development. This reaction produces those complex, desirable flavors we love in roasted coffee, freshly baked bread, or grilled meat. Second, it's responsible for color formation. The golden brown color you see on toast or baked goods comes from pigments called melanoidins. Third, it enhances aroma. The reaction generates many volatile compounds that give foods their mouth-watering smell. And finally, it improves texture. Think about the crisp crust on baked or fried foods. That crunch is partly thanks to the Maillard reaction. So overall, this single reaction shapes the flavor, color, aroma, and texture of many of our favorite foods. While the Maillard reaction brings many benefits, it can also have some negative effects. First, it may cause nutrient loss, for example, reducing the availability of important amino acids like lysine in milk powder. Second, it can form harmful compounds, such as acrylamide, especially in fried potatoes and baked goods. Third, it may produce off flavors, like the burnt or bitter notes in over-roasted coffee. And finally, it can lead to unwanted color changes, such as the brown discoloration sometimes seen in spray-dried milk powder. So while the Maillard reaction makes food tasty and appealing, it also needs careful control. Sometimes it's easy to confuse the Maillard reaction with caramelization. They both create browning in foods, but they happen in very different ways. Let's unravel the key differences. The Maillard reaction is the reaction between reducing sugars and amino acids or proteins, while caramelization is the thermal decomposition of sugars without amino acids. The reactants for Maillard reaction are reducing sugars and amino compounds, whereas caramelization involves sugars only. The Maillard reaction usually starts at around 140 to 165 degrees Celsius, while caramelization starts at a slightly higher range, around 160 to 200 degrees Celsius. The products of Maillard reaction include brown pigments called melanoidins and complex roasted or nutty flavors. Caramelization, on the other hand, produces brown pigments with caramel flavor and sweet notes. For examples, Maillard reaction is seen in bread crust, roasted coffee, and grilled meat. Meanwhile, caramelization can be observed in caramel candies, toffee, and caramelized onions. Now, coming to the end of this video, let us wrap it up. The Maillard reaction is what gives our favorite foods their golden color, rich aroma, and mouth-watering taste. While it brings many benefits like flavor, color, and texture, it can also have some drawbacks when not controlled. By understanding this reaction, we can enjoy food that is not only delicious but also safe and nutritious. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.